YouTube! Look, man, it's been a while. I know. Look, I'm sorry. I've been out the game. You know why? The only reason is because, long story short, I went to Barber School. I'm making content. I was coming out with Tuesdays, every tip. Alright, I was coming out with 2-minute Tuesday videos. I was coming out with tutorials. I was coming out with content. And guess what? It got messed up all because I wasn't even finished with Barber School. So I finally finished up. It took me about like 3-4 more weeks to get it all done. But guess what? I'm finished, bro. And I'm in here, I'm cutting hair. I got my own place now, and we working full time, bro. It's going nuts. I'm excited to start pushing out more videos. I'm excited to start pushing out more content. The YouTube channel, you know, regardless of if I get like 1 view, it really doesn't matter. I'm just gonna be pushing out content. I love cutting hair and making little videos and movies. It doesn't even matter. At this point, I'm pushing out everything. So, this is where we at. I'm done with Barber School. I'm ready to take over the world, and I'm just cutting hair, bro. Real talk. I'm just cutting hair, and I'm having fun with it, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And so, until then, watch it.
Under the sun, nobody fucking with sun. I got a couple of sons, a couple of guns, a couple of that bust up the party and fuck up the fun. She digging me.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today we'll be doing the mid-fade on straight hair. Let's go ahead and get started. And so first, before I go in with the clippers, I'm gonna go ahead and brush out the hair. The reason why is because I want to make sure every hair is laid out to its proper direction. That way it just makes my job easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and start my bald guideline around the temple area. And I'm gonna go ahead and just knock it out with my Slimline Pros. And usually I like to contour the fade according to the head shape of my client. And as you can see, I drop it a little lower in the back. That way, when I'm fading out my lines or setting in my guidelines, I give myself enough space in the back of the head to blend out, because usually the back of the head is really tough to fade. We're gonna go ahead and get started with our second guideline. No guard needed, just push the lever open. Alright, so as you can see with the guideline, the side of the head is at least ½ an inch, and as I move towards the back of the head, it's at least 1 inch wide. And the reason why I do that is because it gives me enough room to blend. Every time I've done it before, it just looks like a bowl cut if I don't stretch the fade out like that. And I've learned with my mistakes, obviously good fades come through time and experience, and so this is what works out for me. Everyone has their own technique, but it helps me out. Alright, so now we'll go ahead with the 1 guard, lever open, and we're going to do the same thing that we did before. We're just setting the guidelines in. That way, once we have everything in place, we'll be able to blur out those lines, erase them, and make sure that this transition looks as smooth as possible. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and use the 2 guard with the lever open. And as you can see, the way I'm working my clippers, I'm just taking all that excess hair with the clippers, pushing it straight to the roof. As you can see, boom, boom, boom. And I like to kind of, describe that when I'm setting guidelines in, I'm giving this guy the crispiest bowl cut that I can, making sure that everything is nice and clean. Whenever I use the 2 guard, it's taking all that excess hair that's just falling out, and if you look at it, everything's kind of like moving in place right now. Alright, so now that everything is set, I'm going to take my foils, I'm going to knock down this straight to the skin. It's just as equivalent to a razor. And so I don't push it up all the way to the bald line. The reason why is because, like, in a way, this kind of sets like another guideline. And so I give myself at least an inch or half an inch to work with. And I've learned in the past that when I push the foil shavers all the way up to the bald guideline, it's messed up my transition and I've had to push the fade up higher. So I give myself some room to work with, and this is how I do it. First I set those in, and then I go in with my Andis T outliners and I just scrub out the rest to make the transition more nicer. Alright, now that all the guidelines are set, now this is the part where the fading comes into play. Now, 2 rules to this. 1, make sure that your wrist is loose and you're flicking out the whole time. 2, the lever is very, very important. This is because within the guidelines that you're working with, you want to make sure that the lower you are in the guideline, the lever is closed. The higher up you get, you'll start moving that lever from middle to open. And so keep this in mind. You don't want to be stiff and creating more guidelines and making your fading process more difficult. And so just keep this in mind. So those 2 rules: flick out the wrist, 2, lever play. Alright, so as you can see, I'm going to use the 0 guard, and it's a closed lever, and I'm tapping the line, not really taking it up too high. Right there, I just slowly move my lever open, and as you can see, I'm taking it higher, higher, and higher, but I'm staying within my guideline. Remember, I'm trying to blend out the lever open into the 1 guard open. So that's my work. This is my goal right here, is to make sure that this transition is seamless. So as I continue to fade, I'm gonna just take the 1 guard, close and open, continue to try getting that transition as smooth as possible, and just understand that the steps are the same. Once the guidelines are set, you're just gonna try erasing the line. This is the key to making sure that we can get the fade as clean as possible, and you're flicking up the whole time. As you can see, I'm making sure that I'm not trying to dig into the head and creating a funky transition. Alright, so here we go with the Andis T outliners with a GTX blade on there, and I'm gonna go ahead and use these. I love them so much because they are so detailed. They can cut really clean and sharp without having to dig in there and cut the skin. Honestly, these are very, very sharp. You got to be careful with it. As you can see, I'm just lightly tapping, and just like that. Look at that. I know a lot of white boys don't like having lineups, but when you do, you can already see the difference of the left side compared to the right side. It just brings the fade together. And honestly, if you mess up a lineup, it will ruin the whole haircut. It doesn't matter how crispy the fade is. The lineup is the finishing piece. It should be everyone's thing to work on as a barber, to make sure that you can honestly set a nice balanced hairline. Alright, so here we go. We're gonna add the enhancements, finishing touch to the cut. And so you know, a lot of people don't like using them because it's bad and it's fake, but guess what? The people probably are not, that you go to, are not applying it right. And so the way I do it is, as you can see, I position the card a certain way, I spray towards the card, and then it just makes everything fall into place very nicely, just like that. And so just keep in mind that not everyone likes it, but if you're the type of barber that wants a nice banging cut, this is what you do.
He needs some milk.
Yes, he does need some milk. And he's gonna go from Huckleberry Finn to Waves on Swim. So thank you so much for everybody watching today. Appreciate if you were able to go through this whole video. This is my mid-fade haircut tutorial for the day. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. If there's anything else you want to learn, go ahead and hit the comment section below and let me know. And subscribe for more videos. But best believe we pushing through with more content. So thank you again. It's 93 till now. Find me on Instagram. Until then, peace out.